And that's our next video. Battle over to
And we're gone.
2022-23 season preview.
We're gone. Yeah. I feel like all we see is their dumb, stupid rage. What are they called?
Storm surge?
Storm surge.
Rage surge.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Wait. That's what I think of.
All right, we're back for another podcast, but today we're going to do a tier list on championship contending hopes this season. Also, I saw Bar Down already did a similar video. First of all, those guys. No, I'm just joking. I actually love their content.
I love the video of Jesse wearing tape in the mall. Did you see that one?
No.
It was just the other day. He dressed himself up in hockey tape and walked through a mall. Like flame tape and skull tape.
Look, no, I'm just joking. I actually love those guys. I watch like all their videos. But just know, I had this down in my notes, the same video, a while ago.
I saw it.
Before they made their video. Also, we're not just going to ignore the fact, quickly go over the fact it's been 171 days in 8 hours since our last upload. My bad.
No better time to come back, honestly.
Bad. Okay, tier list time though. And again, championship contending hopes for this season. So, unlike the Bar Down guys, they did it before the season. A lot of stuff has already changed. We already know the first approximately 10 games of the season has transpired. So we do have a better look now, kind of going forward. Mm-hmm. But we're going to go in alphabetical order here, and we're going to start with the Anaheim Ducks. What are your thoughts?
Well, where do I begin? They kind of shocked a lot of teams last year and a lot of fans last year coming out of the gate so hot. But I think this year it's just not enough.
It's just not going.
Their defense, John Gibson can only do so much.
And that's the thing. John Gibson, from what I've seen, gets no respect.
None.
People pretend like he doesn't exist because he's on such a crappy team.
Yeah.
And that dude's if he's on a good team, he's a top 5 goalie, in my opinion.
He's the reason they win games.
Exactly. He's the only reason.
Right. Obviously Zegras and Terry are tearing it up too.
But I'm sorry to offend you Ducks fans if you're out there. I personally have them in F tier.
F tier.
and the reason why I say that is I don't think there is a chance they make the playoffs. Now, they do have the goaltending, and that is usually tied to making the playoffs. But I just feel like it's too soon. I'm not saying they're not going to be a good team. I'm a big fan of McTavish. I think he's got a bright future, but I think just this year is not the year.
Yeah. I agree with most of those points, and I think you'll be hearing us say that a lot in this episode in this video. It's a lot of young teams. I think a lot of teams are going to be really good in the next few years, but I agree. Anaheim's not ready. I wouldn't put them in F tier, however. I think I would put them in... let's go D tier. Give them a fighting chance.
Well, apparently we didn't realize that there's an E in between E and F. Arizona Coyotes. I don't really think there's much to say other than F tier. This team is going nowhere for a while. Okay, next team, Boston Bruins.
Absolute wagon.
Yeah, I love.
You know what? When the season first started, I was so hesitant on how this whole Krejci operation was going to go because going over and playing the Czech league, it's not the highest European league over there.
Basically, just conditioning for him.
Pretty much.
He retired, did some conditioning.
I guess that's the thing about those Euro leagues is you get in shape and you stay in shape, right? And so
bigger ice surfaces.
As an older guy, that must have helped him so much, and he came back and he hasn't missed a beat.
No, but also Pasta, Pasternak. Pasta?
Yeah.
Pasta or pasta?
Pasta.
No, if you're forming a fantasy team, always choose a guy who had a big year in the years prior, who's now in his contract year.
For sure.
99% of the time, they bounce back. They light it up.
Top 5.
Pasta's up there in points. He's doing really well. Anyways,
I think A tier.
Yeah, I think A tier too. Buffalo Sabres.
Ooh.
Now, I'll start this one off. Also look at my screen. You can look at the tier list side.
Yeah, I'm not looking.
This one might bring some hate. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Dahlin, Power, Tage Thompson. In fact, one of my worst, I would say, opinions ever was roasting Buffalo for trading Ryan O'Reilly for Tage Thompson, but look at the guy now. And I might have to eat my own shorts, but I don't know, man. I just don't see them actually making the playoffs this year. I do think they have a really bright future, but I still think they need some time. I'm going to say C tier, but you can take it away.
Well, if you would have caught me at the beginning of the season, I would have said something completely different. But my God, I love these guys.
Yeah.
I love them. And I think it's going to be a cheeky B pick for me. And here's why.
Okay. I don't hate it.
I mean, you look at Donnelly, and it's only a matter of time since he was going to break out.
Yeah.
Last year, he was itching at the surface a bit, but Buffalo still stunk a little bit, right? But now you have guys like Dahlin, who's taking full form, Thompson, who's a bona fide superstar in the league, Tuck, Krebs, Olofsson. I mean, it's almost like these guys have taken a step in maturity, and it's in the right step to make a push. And I think also being so young and hungry and having all the failure, like 12, 13 years and no playoffs there, they're going to be hungry for playoffs. So I can see them making a push, having young legs, being that fast scoring team. If their defense can keep up to their offense, I think they are good. But I mean, their defense, they got pretty much power and Donnelly, right? And then the rest of it kind of fizzles out after that, right?
But you're saying in the scope of this tier list, because I get the optimism for the scope of this tier list in terms of championship hopes. B tier is pretty high. Given that, like, here's the thing. We've seen it in the past where these young, hungry teams have a really good start to the season. They come out hot, and then they kind of fall flat in their face after the All-Star break.
Sure.
See, and that's my thing with this team. I'm very optimistic about their future, but I kind of feel like they're going to fall flat. Because, like, B is pretty high. Like, a B is like you have a good shot of winning the cup.
Right. Yeah, they do.
Okay, you know what?
No.
No.
Here's my reasoning. I'll say maybe not B tier. All right. Before this video was made, disclaimer, I only ranked S to D. So that's my reason for B. If I'm being a realist, I think C. Now that we're looking at this list.
Because that's the thing.
However,
when you have the list in front of you, it also gives you more perspective rather than us just doing our research, taking notes.
Right.
You know what? We'll leave them in B right now. If we feel like they're in the category of people they shouldn't belong with, we'll change it after. We still got a bunch of teams to go through. Calgary Flames. A lot of new bodies. They've been underperforming thus far. But again, they have guys like Markstrom. Huberdeau has been playing all right. They have a really solid core. I think they're going to pick it up still. I personally am saying B tier. I want them to make a deep run. We live in Calgary. Saddledome is literally just a couple blocks over. I love that time of the season, but I don't know. They've been a little disappointing this year.
Yeah, but I mean, on the same side, I think it's early. And now that you say Calgary's a B tier team, I want to move Buffalo to C. Please.
But where did you have Calgary ranked?
I had, in my S to D tier, I had them A.
Okay.
Because I think even though they switched up the two key pieces in their top six with Tkachuk and Gaudreau, adding Huberdeau and Kadri was pretty much just like a fill-in, like pretty much same players, I think.
Yeah,
but
Kadri's been lights out.
And it's only a matter of time, I think, till Huberdeau gets going, right? But then they also get a piece like Weegar, and he's been pretty solid, kind of here and there the last few games with the losses, but to start the season, he was all right. Daryl Sutter's going to keep them in line. I think they're going to be fine, and I think they're going to make a serious push for the cup. I think we see another battle of Alberta again this year.
That's fair.
To be honest.
So do you want... Okay.
And that's our next video. Battle of Alberta.
And we're gone.
2022-23 season preview.
We're gone. Yeah. Okay, so for the sake of this tier list, it is also important to note, the closer you are to the B, for example, if Calgary is right here, that means that you do rank them above Buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I gotcha.
But the thing is, I agree, and I am still optimistic about this team, but we have Boston in A. Are they up there with Boston?
You know what? I don't think so. I think there's definitely a good argument for them to be in A category, and I would honestly be fine putting them in A category, but you look at Boston's forwards, and it's not even close.
So how about this? Buffalo goes to C. Calgary will be high B. Because I do get that. I think they're right in the middle there.
Yep.
So if we put them at the top of B, they're on the verge of being an A tier.
Yep.
So B tier. Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I feel like to us West Coast hockey fans or Western Canada, this team kind of goes under the radar.
For sure.
I feel like all we see is their dumb, stupid rage. What are they called?
Storm Surge?
Storm Surge.
Rage Surge.
But they have a great team. They
do.
have a lot of depth. They have some of the best defensemen in the NHL. The goaltending has been good this year. I think they have a real shot for a deep run this season.
For sure. And I mean, I think after last year's exits in New York, they were right there. Right? And that series could have gone either way. I think losing Trocheck was a huge loss for them.
Yeah.
But I can also see Seth Jarvis like stepping up into that role too this year.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been doing.
That's the thing is they also have some really good young talent, even their best talent.
Yeah,
Svechnikov, young guy still.
Yeah, he's having a breakout year.
Yeah,
right. And then adding Brent Burns too. I mean, he's been good. He's kind of a plus minus non-darling. I don't know what the opposite of that is, but he gets points, right? And he helps your back end be a little bit more dynamic, right? So I think that's what they need to be a bit more scoring and a bit more offensive team, because I think they have their defense figured out. I think Rod the Bot has them playing like a good, solid playoff system.
Yeah.
But if they can just get more offense, I think that'll help them in the long run. And
Agreed.
Healthy goaltending in the playoffs.
A tier. I'm putting them in A.
I think you have to.
I don't know if I'd put them above Boston just because of their playoff experience on that team, but I do think they're A.
Yeah, I think if it gets down to those 2 playing, definitely Boston. I see Boston moving on. So,
do you know what's funny? I don't know if I told you this story. My auntie is best friends with Rod the Bod's best friend and would always hang out with him at weddings.
Just like what, Rod would just go to weddings? Or
yeah.
Or wait, Rod's friend would go to weddings.
Rod would go to weddings and my auntie always sat beside him, had no clue who he was. I'm like, you see that body? The guy's something.
There's like 3 buttons missing from his dress shirt. How could you not see it?
The deepest V-neck possible.
Damn, so Rod the Pod, wedding crasher confirmed. All right.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Wait. That's what I think of.
Man, don't other people use that mic? You're going to give them pink eye. Are you kidding me?
Why do you think my eyes are so red? Holding this thing so close.
Oh.
Wow, that's going.
You just want to smell your own fart the whole video? Is that why? You're just smart.
Do it for the bit.
You fart smeller.
It's perfect though. You're like Chicago Blackhawks, and then you just wait.
They do deserve to get farted on.
They do, man. First thing I have written in here. I'm going to start this off.
Yeah, go for it.
Bad karma's catching up to these
Yes.
guys, and I hate to say it, I was the biggest bandwagon hopper in 2010. I went out to Lids and bought a Chicago Blackhawks lid.
No.
Yeah, I was a big homer.
Colorado Avalanche.
No, Carl. Don't Carl.
No.
Carl. No, Carl.
Jimmy. The Colorado Avalanche, S tier. I don't think there's much debate here. I still consider them one of the top contenders in the league. You're looking at me like you don't.
You know what? If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't have a single S tier team.
No.
You know why? Because there's too many good teams. And I know we've seen teams like Tampa Bay or Pittsburgh or...
I don't know, man. I still think when a team wins a cup and they don't lose much of their core, Colorado lost Kadri. That is a big hit. But they also have guys like Keel McCarr, Alex Newhook, who are still getting better. I feel like, me personally, Colorado is on another level.
Right.
Like, they only lost like 1 or 2 games in the first 12 games of the playoffs last year. They were on another level, and they only lost Kadri. And Valery Nichushkin, he also just hit another level this season. He's been winning me, single-handedly winning me.
I know.
Fantasy
He
games.
beat me.
Yeah.
With just him.
Exactly. I think if
I don't know,
we got to
man.
have S tier team,
You think so?
you know what? We'll leave him there,
Okay.
and we can always change it. I'm okay to change that.
Yeah.
But I do think there are a couple teams that are just above other teams.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay.
I just think there's too much parity to have a superior.
There is, and they are off to a slow start.
But that's just hangover.
4-4-1. It's a hangover. And again, like, I'm never worried about teams like Toronto, Colorado, Pittsburgh. Teams that have like that proven experience, they always bounce back.
Yeah.
And teams that are young and feisty, they always start off strong, fall on their face flat.
Yeah.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
Now let's talk about falling on your face flat.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. It's been pretty brutal out there.
I don't know. I think it would have. I think the season would have went a lot better if they had Texier.
Yeah.
That's a big piece that they're missing too.
And who did they? They also just lost Bjorkstrand.
Did they?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even know that. I watched the game today. I should have known. But no, just in my notes I have, we miss you, Johnny. I know winter sucks here, but you had a contender, my friend.
Johnny, come back.
I know it's already snowing here. At least it happened after October.
This is your letter to Johnny?
This is my letter to Johnny, yeah. We miss
Look at
you,
the camera at least when you say it, so he's sincere.
We miss you, man. Just kidding. I'm an Oilers fan. Couldn't be happier. But no, I think losing Texier sucks, and I think this team's just too young. I think they're one of the youngest teams in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and they do have building block players. Gaudreau, Laine, obviously, Sillinger, Kent Johnson. They have a bright future. I mean, they just got 4 first-round picks basically for Seth Jones.
Yeah.
But this year isn't their year. I don't think they expected it to be their year.
Yeah.
But I have them in D tier personally, right around where Anaheim is.
I think they're better than Anaheim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. So would you say like high D tier?
I
wouldn't say they're on Buffalo's level.
We're
getting ahead of ourselves.
Calgary's not even on Buffalo's level.
Oh yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Miss you.
Dallas Stars.
I like this team.
Me too. I kind of like how Sagan's having a bounce back year.
Yes.
Jamie Benn's been playing pretty good.
Yes.
Jake Ottinger. My God. This guy is a monster.
Hasn't missed a beat since playoffs last year.
I know, like, I didn't go to the Flames Dallas playoff games, but I did go to the Red Lot. And that guy, watching him on the big screen.
Big man.
I saw him up close. He was right there.
He's playing right there up on the screen.
He was so good.
It's crazy how that happens, hey?
But again, this is kind of an inconsistent team. They do have guys like Jason Robertson, obviously, who's been lighting it up. But I don't think they're up there. I would place them around Calgary and B tier.
We'll get to Florida soon, but I have some choice words for Florida. Robertson, Marchment, Hintz. Rupe Hintz is a proven goal scorer. I bet you he gets 40, 45 this year. Gurionov. That guy's kind of like this
depth
sometimes.
Scorer, though, but he's a depth scorer.
Exactly, right? If he can figure it out, I mean, I've never seen a one-timer like his. His release looks like he's just like water bending. By the way, I finished Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I was going to say.
I cried. But you look at their defense. I mean, it's Heiskanen and Lindell, and then it kind of just drops off. It's like Lundqvist. Do they still have Suter? I don't know. Still, maybe they do. I don't know if he retired or not. We should know this.
I think they do.
178 days off.
Suter.
We do our notes. Yeah.
Again, I think B tier. I do agree that Calgary is one slot ahead, but that's why Calgary's there. They're right behind them. Detroit Red Wings. So they've been off to a bit of a surprising start here. They have some amazing young pieces. Moritz Seider, Lucas Raymond. Who's that big tall guy? Soderblom. And they have a lot of really good prospects just marinating in the system.
Just sauteing.
Yes. But I don't think there's a shot that they make playoffs.
Not yet, at least.
And I don't know if Red Wings fans expect they do. Again, they have a bright future, just kind of like an Anaheim. I think they have a brighter future. But I just don't think there's a shot. Yeah. Personally, I'm going to say F tier just because I think there's no chance. But I just don't like that.
Disrespecting Stevie Y.
I love Stevie Y. Okay, I'm going to put him in E tier.
If I'm a Detroit fan, I'm sitting back and looking at this like Stevie Y's got this. We'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry.
But if we're looking at it, I see, and it makes total sense if we're looking at this season. There's no way they make playoffs.
And if they do, come back to this video. I'm sure there's some Detroit fans watching this.
Tell us if Ryan Suter's still playing.
We don't know. Where's that guy? I didn't see him on the big screen.
He wasn't at the red lot.
I don't want to put any team beside Arizona and Chicago. That's like just some bottom of the barrel shit right there.
Right.
I think E tier. And again, no disrespect. And if they do make the playoffs or even are a bubble team, come back to this video, roast me all you want. It's fine. It's fine. I'll take it.
Yep.
Take it on the chin.
Yep. No, I think they're just too young. I think at this point I'm just going back in my head whether if they're better than Anaheim or not.
Yeah.
To put them in D, because I think they're right there. I mean, Larkin, Kubalik have been insane for them. Sider's been a little bit slow.
Yeah, he's a little slow start.
But
not too worried.
Not worried. Do I think they're better than Anaheim?
Maybe.
Dude, I don't...
Maybe they are a D tier. Maybe I just insulted a lot of people.
Yeah, you started out at F tier. I'm like, okay, let's pump the brakes, kid. No, okay. Let's put... I
think they're better than Anaheim. I mean, they're performing way better than Anaheim thus far. I mean, they're even performing better than Columbus.
They got a new coach, too. I mean, I was watching the Anaheim game versus Canucks, and...
Yeah. Okay, we'll put them at the top of D tier. Sorry to all the Detroit fans.
Yeah, oh my gosh. You're welcome for bringing that back, you guys. Detroit fans, hit me up.
Edmonton Oilers. Now, we're both Edmonton fans. And I know we're going to sound like homers here. Now, this team still lacks on the blue line. They lack in depth. Two major components of winning. But if you have the best player in NHL history on your team, and I said it, that's my opinion. I think Connor McDavid is the best of all time, personally. Don't roast me. Not to mention Leon Draisaitl. I think you got to be up there. Like, they both scored over 30 points last season in the playoffs, only making it to the third round. Like, and they're looking better this year, those two players. Like, how can you not put a team with players like that in S or high A?
You definitely... I have them in A.
I'm putting them high A. High A.
Yeah, and I do think they're better than Carolina and Boston. It's just that defense, man. Every year I say this. Goaltending went out, and we addressed it. That's great. Jack Campbell hasn't looked great, but Skinner is ready.
Yeah, he's been looking good.
You know Connor and Draisaitl will bring it, but it's just keeping Hyman, keeping Hopkins, keeping Yamamoto going and firing, you know? Okay. I've also really liked McLeod this year, too. That guy's like one of my favorite players.
I have a crazy rumor. I didn't hear, but I'm making right now. Apparently,
Ryan Suter's playing in Sochi.
Ryan Suter is playing for the Shinglong Dragons.
Ice Pandas.
What are the Chinese KHL team?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, the Stars. Or no, the...
Star Dragons?
Something
Dallas
like
Stars. Dallas Stars.
That too.
Dallas Stars. No.
It all connects.
Connor McDavid has been in contact recently. Don't take this as you're hearing a real rumor. I'm just connecting the dots. He's been connecting with Bo Horvat, a proven playoff performer. They just did a commercial.
Go Otto.
They just did a commercial together. Now listen to this. Bo Horvat is not happy with the Vancouver Canucks right now. He is a proven playoff performer, big game player. Do you know what Vancouver needs? Cap relief. Do you know who would be a great player? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins signed for $6 million a year for the next 5 years. Could you imagine that trade? Because
for one?
Yes. They'd be getting a big game. Bo Horvat scored like 15 goals and like 20. You know what? I'm gonna fact check that.
Would Vancouver want to do that though? What's Bo's contract per year?
It's up this year.
He's in a contract year?
Yes, he's in a contract year. Bo Horvat scored 10 goals in 17 games. He has 10 goals in 11 games this year.
He's on pace for 97 points.
Yeah, 97. It's all connected. Now, do you know what I'm saying though? Like, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a great player. Guess what? He's from Burnaby, Vancouver. He's a hometown boy.
Vegas.
Yeah. No, okay, but here's the thing. Vancouver has been announcing. I don't know. I think there could be something there. Why would McDavid specifically even reach out for Bo Horvat to do a commercial? But the thing is, like, they need players that are going to show.
Did you reach out to him?
Yes.
Wow.
They need players that are going to show up in the playoffs, and Bo Horvat is that guy. And he's unhappy with the team. Vancouver just announced that they will be making huge changes. And if they can't afford Bo Horvat, they can't afford Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's a hometown boy and also a great player. I'm not saying I would do that or even want that to happen.
Right.
But it's just my fantasy
Makes
scenario
sense.
I'm making in my head.
No, I can see it, man.
Florida Panthers. So,
Oh, these assholes.
yeah, I don't know about this team. Like, Kachuk actually, like, I feel like the Kachuk trade just got them roasted. And it's not just the Kachuk trade, it's also the Giroux trade. I do actually think the Kachuk trade was way more fair than people kind of talk about it, how they talk about it. But they're kind of a up and down team, and they need Aaron Ekblad to stay healthy. He's the number one defenseman that they need, and the guy just cannot stay healthy.
Yeah. It's tough. And I mean, what a horrendous offseason, honestly. Like, losing Huberdeau, Uyghur, Marshman, Giroux.
Yeah,
Oh, my God. And then now Ekblad with
and a
injury.
first-round pick.
And a first-round pick. I feel like they should have done the Tampa Bay thing and just waited a year when Tampa Bay got swept by Columbus in the first round. It's like, wait that year, come back, assert the group and, like, learn from your mistakes, and then see what happens. I mean, you guys were President Cup or President Trophy champions. Like, you won the league. You had something there. Why would you go and blow it all up like that?
They took a huge risk for one playoff run when they don't have enough playoff experience. Just like you said, Tampa got blown out that year. Got their backs blown out that year by Columbus.
Dang.
And the next year, what did they do? They traded for guys like Blake Coleman. You know, fill in those holes in your roster, and then they won a cup. They didn't just go all in on their first President's Trophy year. Yeah. But with that being said, I still think they do have a solid team. I do feel like people are downplaying how good Barkov, Kachuk, etc. are.
Yeah.
And I would put them at the bottom of B tier.
Yeah, I think it's been just a slow... Well, it hasn't even been a slow start for the team, but Barkov in particular. Barkov and Reinhardt haven't been going too much. Kachuk's been okay, but I think
he's leading I think he has like 13 or 14 points.
Kachuk?
Yeah.
He's been good.
He's been really good.
So Barkov's been kind of okay.
Yeah, he's been kind of meh.
Reinhardt's been okay. Kachuk's been great. Yeah, no, I would agree. B tier for sure. I do like Dallas and Calgary better.
Yeah, I agreed. LA Kings. What do you got on them?
Well, as an Oilers fan, and as you guys know of me talking about the Oilers last year in our first video,
Probably don't remember. It's only 6 months ago.
It was a while ago. Man, I like LA. I like them. And I mean, you look at Gabe Vilardi, he's just popping off this year too, right? They have Doughty back. I mean,
Kopitar is still just a monster.
Kopitar is doing it. They got Fiala. Fiala's putting up points.
That's a great pickup.
I hear he's a bit of like a drama star.
Oh, okay, of course.
But I mean, he's in LA now, so like you kind of have
Perfect.
to be, right? Yeah, exactly, yeah. I can see them being a sneaky wild card team. If you're good enough to take on Edmonton and bring them to 7 games, I think there's a really good chance. There's something there.
And that's also what I was saying with teams like Pittsburgh or whoever, Boston. When you've been there, done that before, you have it in you to just like play way above the talent of your team.
Yep.
You have the leadership, etc. They also have a guy like Alex Turcotte. He's been developing, but they also have Byfield. Kaliev. I'm big on Byfield. The dude's like 6'5" and skates like the wind and is a goal scorer. Like, if he can develop, he could be like a 40, 50 goal monster.
Absolutely. And I think last year was a bit of like a weird season for him because he broke his foot, I think, in preseason or something, and he just...
It's a rough time.
Yeah, got off to a slow start.
He's a guy that could be like a Tage Thompson to me. Very similar.
For sure. And I think playing on the second, third line, not playing against the top guys, he'll flourish this season. So
definitely. I would actually put them high C tier. Above Buffalo, but below Florida. They got a chance, but...
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Minnesota Wild. Now, this team is pretty fascinating to me. We got Kaprizov, just a superstar. Matthew Boldy, just been lighting it up. This guy just came out of nowhere. He reminds me of kind of like a Mark Stone type player, just like a great two-way force out there. However, their cap situation is not looking good. They're still facing the penalties from Parise and Suter, wherever that guy is now. I heard he's in China.
I heard he went to Czechoslovakia.
Oh, you replaced Krejci?
Yeah. But then he's coming back and he's going to play for Oilers next year. Because he's going to be involved in the trade with Hopkins. To Vancouver.
Oh, shit. No way. Fleury's been playing like crap. They do have some depth guys who can start clicking here. Yeah. I think this team could be a dark horse for being a bubble team, but I don't see them being like a strong contender.
You know who they remind me of?
Who?
The Oilers 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. They even got a 97 on their team.
They got one line who can really pop off, and after that it's kind of just saturated. Their defense is pretty atrocious, and their goaltending is struggling right now.
I think losing Fiala was a huge hit.
I think so too.
Like, it's a big hole to fill.
The offense is struggling a bit, and it's very one-line driven. So I don't think they're going to be as competitive as they were last season. I right now have them in C category.
So would you say above Buffalo?
I would say above LA and Buffalo, but it's not looking good so far. You got to figure it out, Minnie.
They're really iffy.
I had high hopes. I had Zuccarello and Kaprizov. Kaprizov was my first pick in the draft, the fantasy draft.
I mean, he's been playing good.
It's been playing good, but it's
not great.
Plus minus, man.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, next one. Montreal Canadiens. Mark Bergerman. Man, have you ever told you that I just like to mess around, have some goofs? I always say Mark Bergerman or Bergervan. I just interchange it whenever I talk about him. And I've received literally 500 comments in the past.
Like death threats?
Yeah.
Really?
They're threatening my dogs, man.
Dude.
No.
Speaking of which,
I just get roasted.
Are they okay?
They're okay. I think they're sleeping.
Montreal Canadiens fan took them.
I just get roasted for mispronouncing that. Like, do you even like that guy?
Is he
Honestly, I'm joking. He's French and he's also juiced. Have you seen that guy's biceps? Wouldn't want to arm wrestle that guy.
I would love to see an arm wrestling contest between him and Rod the Bod.
Oh,
I'd put money on that. Who would you put money on?
Rod the Bod.
Yeah, obviously.
That guy's been Rod the Bod.
I don't know. I think if Burger Man gets
Burger Man the Bod.
If Burger Man gets pissed off enough, I feel like he can like have old man strength. But
have that old
Rod the
French rage.
Like if you ever see videos of Rod the Bod talking to the boys in the locker room, he's like darts to like point A to point B. And he's just back and forth. He's like, all right, boys, and then he goes back and forth. Like if I played for Rod the Bod, I would run through like 8 walls. Yeah, if I'm being honest. I love him.
Okay, Montreal Canadiens though.
Yeah.
Now, this team has an amazing core for the future. Cole Caulfield, proving all the haters, more importantly, proving all the teams wrong for passing on him. This guy was drafted 15th overall, and he's doing exactly what he's always done, score goals.
Yeah, it's nice when your dad's the coach too.
Yeah, uncle.
Yeah, I love this team.
I love it too.
Honestly, I'm going to put them in probably like E tier.
E or D for me.
E or D tier, but man, if they get Bedard or like a high-end draft pick next year,
another guy to add,
that just puts them over the top, and I think they're great. But I think if they do go that route, they have to pick a D-man.
Yeah.
You know, like they need, like especially with losing.
Hey, Jordan Harris.
Jordan Harris, yeah, that's true actually.
Weird fact: we used to go to school with Jordan Harris's girlfriend, I think, or fiance or something. Now I haven't talked to her in
you know what
years.
I actually had a coaching clinic, and she was in it last week.
Oh yeah,
and we talked about it.
yeah. And Jordan Harris's girlfriend or fiance, I don't know what their relationship status is, used to beat my ass in drills. She was so good at hockey. It was like insane.
Oh, she's not. She's really good.
I think she played for Women's World Juniors.
She played in Northeastern.
Yeah, Northeastern. But they do have guys, Nick Suzuki, stud, Slavkovsky. Little inconsistent,
will be stud.
But you can see the upside there.
For sure.
Caden Gould, a potential like monster on the blue line.
I believe it's pronounced Ghoulie.
Ghoul.
It's not Ghoul.
Fuck. That's why people roast me, man.
Ghoul.
Kirby Doc. Stud. That's fuck. Frick you, man.
Honestly, like I'm gonna be a huge fan of this team for many years to come. I mean, if they're gonna keep this core together, they're gonna be exciting.
Yeah, what I do like about this team is they are very exciting. They're gonna suck for a while, but at least they are exciting. Yeah. But again, I'll put them in E tier.
Yeah, we know it's not the year, and I think everyone does.
Nashville Predators, another team having a bad start, but with stars in net. Matt Duchene is kind of returning to form, and some great depth. Well, some good depth pieces like Tanner Jeannot. I do think they will bounce back, and I do have them in B tier.
Here's my hot take. I think it's just a little too late for this team.
They have a Norris winning defenseman on their team.
That's what I was going to say.
Vezina winning.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think Yossi can do what he did last year again?
Yeah.
Really?
Guy's a man rocket. He can do whatever he wants.
No help. I mean, I guess he had lots of help last year, but man, I don't see Duchene scoring 40 goals again. I can see Forsberg scoring 40 goals.
But yeah, with that being said, look at who's on the C tier. To any of these teams, I mean, I guess Buffalo has Dahlin. None of these teams has a number one winger. I guess a winger doesn't. None of these teams have a number one goalie and a number one defenseman, besides Nashville.
What about Werenski and Merzlikins?
Are you serious?
Werenski, sure, but
you think Werenski is on the same level as Roman Josi?
Yes.
Roman Josi.
I think they're close, but no, Roman Josi hard carries that team, and I think for him to have to do that and provide for that team again, just to go to the playoffs again and get swept again, there's no chance. I think I put him C.
High C? I'm putting him high C. I have him in B. I will compromise at high C. They do not have the cap issues of the Minnesota
I agree,
Wild.
They don't have cap issues, but mark my words. Wait till the season goes on a little bit. I think they're going to slowly slide. I mean, they're already sliding, but I don't see them getting in playoffs this year.
Okay, but that's high C is that bubble team.
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils. Now, I don't know how to feel about this team. They have been on fire this season. They destroyed Vancouver, beat Edmonton. They've already beaten several top teams in the league. You know, they're the best defensive team in the league. They just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Can they sustain that? I don't know. Jesper Bratt making them regret not giving him whatever money he wanted. This guy's going to now ask for $9 million.
Yeah.
And they probably offered him 6x8 before.
It's insane. It's just insane. It's kind of like the Sabres, right? Everything's just clicking for all these young guys, right? It's cool. And so that's why I kind of put them in the same category as the Sabres. I don't think this can be sustained.
Couldn't agree more.
Right? And especially with looking at how Blackwood played last year, I really, really hope he has a better season this year, and so far he's proving that. But last year, they'd go on good streaks and terrible streaks, and then for the last bit it was just terrible because they couldn't get any saves or play any defense, right? So as good as their offense is playing, I don't see it sustaining.
Me neither. I would personally go C tier, one below Nashville. Yeah. I'm gonna guess you think above Nashville. You know what? We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. New York Islanders. Sorokin has emerged as one of the top goalies in the league. Him and Shesterkin, Ottinger. I don't know.
All these Russian goalies, man, they're so stacked.
Do you know? Okay, I have a theory on this.
What's that?
Russian goalies get the ability to play against higher level competition way earlier than Canadian goalies.
Okay.
They play in the dub. They're facing younger guys.
Yeah.
Whereas Shesterkin or Sorokin, they're playing professional hockey when they're 16, 17 to get that experience.
That's the same with Swedish and Finland goalies too, right? That's why you see them always being so good. That's true, yeah. Playing in the SHL. Damn.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, that makes a lot of sense because Canada was so good at goaltending for so long, and now it's
dropping off,
right?
Yeah. But it has to be systemic in terms of how they develop.
Right.
And the only thing I can think of is the ability to play in different leagues and get different experience, which they can't get here.
Yeah. No, but as far as the Islanders go, man, I think obviously their record's better being 7-4 right now. But I think after last year getting COVID, they just got dealt a shit hand.
Yeah,
moving around
sure.
rinks last year too, like that
was
shit
brutal.
takes such a toll on you. I can imagine.
Okay, but with that being said, I do have the Islanders in mid to high B tier.
I agree. I think they're gonna have a much better season this year.
Would you put them above Dallas or Calgary?
I would put them above Florida, below Dallas. Yeah.
New York Rangers, Shesterkin, Adam Fox, Panarin. They have a bunch of major key roles. The bread man. That's all I have to say.
Captain Trouba.
Captain Trouba.
My man.
Because dangerous out there.
Man, they're going to be same team as last year, really good, but better. They got Trocheck now and Jimbo VC coming back for round dose.
See, I have the same opinion. I think they're going to be an improved version of last year. And they had a really good season. They went really far. Yeah. They gained some experience that they didn't have before. Yeah. I think they're going to take another step this season. I have them in mid to high A tier.
I agree. I have them A tier. I have them above Carolina. Yeah,
right there?
Yep.
Okay. Ottawa Senators. Another team loaded with young players of the future. I think they do have a chance of being a bubble team, given all the transactions they made this past summer. But I still think they're a couple years out from being a true contender. Maybe next year they're a real playoff threat.
Yeah.
I don't think they're there yet.
The defense isn't there yet. I mean, Shabbat's looked pretty shaky this year, and he's their best D-man.
Yeah.
And after Shabbat, it kind of just...
But again, they do have guys like Jake Sanderson who could develop into like a top 5, top 10 defenseman.
Right.
So they do have the pieces. It's just about waiting and developing now for them.
Yeah.
So I have them in D tier.
I think at the beginning of the season, I would have put them as a bubble team, especially with Talbot too. But him going down, Sanderson not being ready yet, Stützle not being quite ready yet. I think I like Giroux and I like DeBrincat there, but it's not going to be
There's a lot of exciting pieces there. It's just not. It's not the time yet.
Yep. We said at the beginning, it's a lot of young teams, but their time will come, but it's not this year.
It's not like a slant, or like we're not like roasting them. It's just some teams need some time.
Yeah,
they need to marinate more.
They need to serenade more.
Yes, they need to sing.
Serenade.
Isn't that what you sing?
That's
sing
when you
to
put,
someone.
That's when you put like soy sauce on meat.
It's marinate.
Not serenade.
Are you serious right now?
No, let's move on.
Flyers.
Woof.
As someone who's a fan of like that military coaching style,
you're a fan of it?
Yeah.
I guess it gets like you were telling me last week.
I don't know.
Gets it out of you.
I can completely understand people who don't like it, obviously, but I know our one coach, Tom. I'll leave it there. He kind of like advanced my game so much from having. I don't know if he's actually a good coach, but he had a lot of accountability. He was good at yelling at us.
He made you scared. He's a Mike Keenan type a little bit.
But Tortorella has definitely changed. Tortorella has definitely changed the culture of this team already.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it. Carter Hart has been returning back to form this season.
Yep.
I do think
Sherwood Park native.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. So not having Sean Couturier and potentially not having Ryan Ellis ever will really hurt. But I actually do think this team has a chance. I don't know how you feel about that. I think they have a chance to be a bubble team. I don't know if I'd put them above any of these teams, but I do think they could be in the C category. I don't know. That's kind of a controversial take.
Yep. No, I think I agree with you, honestly. Losing Ryan Ellis, that is such a big loss. I remember him in Nashville. I don't even think he's like really played for Philly yet because he came over in a trade, got injured last year, injured this year.
Yeah,
that's such a piece that you're missing too. And Sean Couturier, that's also like just so bad like of a loss because he goes Kevin Hayes now to Scott Laughton. And Scott Laughton's usually that bona fide third center, right?
Yeah.
So missing Couturier is just like such a big piece, man. If they had those guys healthy, I would say like they would be a good.
They'd be upper C. They'd be on the brink of being.
They'd probably be top of C right now.
Yeah,
low B.
With that being said, I actually might put them high D.
Okay.
I feel like you just kind of convinced me.
Nice.
Kind of low C, high D.
Nice.
Pittsburgh Penguins. This is a team that's been there. They've done that. They haven't started off strong, but when you have Crosby leading your team, I think you always have a chance. You always have a chance. It's fucking beer, man. I feel like I'm talking with a frog in my throat. Personally, I do have them in B tier just because of the Crosby factor. I think they can always surprise teams. They did really well last playoffs.
Yeah, I think to start the season, they were on like a 4-game win streak into a 6-game losing streak. I think it's going to settle itself out. Last year, they were up 3-1, 3-2 on New York Rangers.
Yes.
And then they had DeSmith come in because both their goalies got injured.
Yes.
So you think about if that doesn't happen, do they get by the Rangers? Like it's
exactly
this team's still there.
They're still there, which is crazy to think.
So that's why I have them in B. I think they're gonna.
I would put them over Florida.
I'd put them over Florida too, and I'd put them over the Islanders too.
I might even put them over Dallas.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's just the Crosby factor. It's just a game changer.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
San Jose Sharks. Erik Karlsson, ladies and gentlemen. Now, nothing else is going right for them.
I was trying to save up another fart.
For the San Jose Sharks? Yeah. Oh, I'm
just kidding.
People assume when I make like rise and fall videos of players on my main channel that I don't like those players or I'm like ragging on them. That's not true at all. Erik Karlsson is one of my favorite players of all time.
Same.
Peak Erik Karlsson in Ottawa. Just like people forget already how good that guy was.
I mean, you take a look at like Makar's skating style and like McDavid's skating style, and I think if you ask those guys who they would model their skating after when they were younger, it's probably guys like Erik Karlsson.
Exactly, and I have people like raging at me. They're like, "How dare you compare Makar to Karlsson?" I'm like, "Are you 9 years old and never watched hockey after 2018?"
That is like how it developed into Makar.
Exactly.
Karlsson was the starter of it. He was
revolutionary,
miles ahead of so many people when he was in Ottawa in 2017 and before.
He was carrying that team as a defenseman. He was like Roman Josi.
Yeah.
Very similar. But with that being said, San Jose Sharks, not a chance. I'm putting them in F tier. They're like what is their record? 3-8-1 this season.
And I think they, yeah.
You know, I might put them in E tier because they do have some good pieces still.
Timo Meyer and Hurdle. Couture. Couture's getting low.
I'm just repeating everything you said. What else you got?
Riley's my best friend.
Seattle Kraken. Another team with some exciting prospects. Matty Beniers is legit already. What a great pickup. Super fun to watch. That guy, I don't know, his skating style is just like so electrifying. Kind of like a McKinnon or something.
Yeah, he's like a more shifty McKinnon.
Yeah.
You know, like he has the power, but he also can rip the puck, and it's just like, oh my God, this guy's like just a Michigan beauty.
Yeah, he's some good upside. Like, jeez.
They
are fun to watch. Goaltending has been so bad.
Yeah.
And right now, I think they're in the run, technically, but I can't see them maintaining this. I think there's not a shot.
No.
I would put them in low D tier.
Yeah. No, I with the start they've had, it's been impressive. And I mean, I think they're only getting better and better, but like you go back to the draft and it's like what were you guys doing? You didn't even flip picks. You didn't pick a great team. What were you hoping for to get like high picks? Obviously they got Beniers, which is great, and hopefully this year you'd think their plan would still want to be like you get a high pick, right?
They have a weird like tweener direction going to them right now.
Right? Like you don't really know if they want to be competitive, if not. But if they keep playing like they're playing, I can maybe see like a push in the Pacific Division just because there's so many question marks in that division. I think Vegas gets in for sure. Oil's in. If Calgary could turn it around, sure. Maybe that leaves a wild card spot for them, but I don't think so.
I can't see it. Their goaltending has been way too inconsistent.
Yeah.
And they aren't just consistent now. They've been inconsistent since this franchise first started.
Yep.
But with that being said, I would say mid D tier.
Yeah, mid D tier. I'd put them over Columbus, but not Detroit.
St. Louis Blues. I don't know if like you did some research on this team. They have stunk this year. And I got an interesting fact.
Dude, Kyrou was my 3rd overall pick.
How's he doing?
Dropped him first week.
Oh,
yeah,
that's rough,
pretty sure he has like 3 points.
And to put this into perspective, how stinky this team is.
Stinky.
The St. Louis Blues have scored 7 less goals throughout 9 games than the Arizona Coyotes. They have scored less goals than Arizona so far. With that being said, though, they are a team that knows how to win They just won a cup in 2019, 2018, whenever that was. They do have some really solid pieces. By no means are they out of the run. I would actually put them high C tier.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I still have them in B tier.
Okay.
Because
I think, you know what, one sec. I think they got to just start chucking fists in practice to get, and then they'll be A tier again.
Yeah, that was exactly where I was about to go with this.
Were you actually?
Yeah. I mean, you look at that season when they won the cup. They had like one of the worst records in the NHL, and then they turned it around and got into
Can they do it again, though?
the third or second spot in the West or the Central Division. And I think despite Kyrou, Thomas, and Tarasenko's slow start, like those guys are such automatic like hockey nerds that they'll get back into it in no time.
Low B tier?
Low B tier. I think they'll get playoffs, man.
I feel that.
You know, it's a weird start, but I think Kyrou's going to start heating up. Tarasenko will get back, and Thomas will be fine.
They just been starting a little stinky.
A little stinky poo-poo.
Little stinks. Okay, Tampa Bay Lightning. We already went over this. I do think they are still a team that deserves to be an S tier. I think, come on, like 3 Stanley Cup Finals in a row, and they haven't lost any major pieces. They can go on another run and be in 4 in a row.
Every year, I always find myself wanting to say, "Oh, they're going to be tired. They're going to be."
They never are.
They never are.
They just.
And that's even what I had written down here. I took my notes. I said they're going to be tired this year. But even just thinking about it over the course of the night and how they play as a team, and John Cooper and Vasilevsky, I think that's the biggest piece. Yeah, dude.
They're winners. They have to.
A tier for
no,
me,
they have to be S tier.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
3 Stanley Cup Finals in a row.
Yeah.
No team in the NHL can say in the modern era can say they've done that. It doesn't exist.
No.
And there's no signs that they're slowing down either. That's what's crazy. And people actually give me shit all the time because I say they're the greatest dynasty ever. Now, obviously, I know Islanders won like 18 playoff game or playoff series, or maybe not that many. I forget how many. They won like 4 or 5 cups in like 6 years.
That's when Ryan Suter was on the team.
Yeah, Ryan Suter.
Yeah, right.
He was the coach.
Right. Player coach.
Yeah, did both. He did both. Obviously, I know those teams existed. Obviously, I know the Edmonton Oilers existed. But we're talking about Detroit Red Wings. But we're talking about a team in the salary cap era doing that. That's unprecedented. That's never happened. Back in the day when these teams were doing that, they had no salary cap.
Yeah.
Detroit was loaded from the ground up. Teams can't do that anymore. Well, apparently Tampa can like mess with this, like just put guys in long time hour.
They unlocked the LTIR conspiracy theory,
but still, like that.
Hey,
still
it's in the rules. You're playing by the rules.
Exactly. They're not doing anything wrong.
It's legal.
I can't not put him in S tier just because of that feat.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair. You heard me. My opinion on S tier.
Wrong.
Too much parity.
When you see those two teams in the playoffs,
it's for this. It's for this year, Rob, not past years.
Okay.
Think about it.
I think we got to have an F. There has to be someone at the top, and there has to be someone at the bottom.
True.
In Riley's world, everyone is just in C tier. Just no parity. I mean, too much parity.
Edmonton S tier. Everyone else C tier.
Everyone else F.
Everyone else can lick it.
Okay. Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, another slow start by Matthews. It's happened in the past. He's bounced back. I'm not too worried about the players not bouncing back. Goaltending has been meh. But I don't know. I think they're a for sure playoff lock. I think there's not a chance they don't make it. But I do pose this question. If they don't make the second round, how in the hell does Kyle Dubas have a job? Like, there's no chance. I hear people still defending him. There's no chance.
Well, I think it starts. I mean, you look at these few games, and I've been watching just like to kind of tune in on the Real Housewives of Toronto. Season 1 here.
Season like 20.
Literally. Matthews, there's a lot of talk going on about his game in Philly, like when he just let all his teammates jump in and he was smiling, whatever. That's kind of like his thing, and I've been in those situations too. Like, you're kind of in the moment, like, whatever. That's nothing burger, as Bissonnette would say.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be just fine. But what I do want to see or need to see is, like, Nylander needs to figure it out. And same with Marner. Because these guys have just been trying to do way too much with it and thinking they're so superior to the game.
Their shit don't stink.
And they just make all these terrible turnover plays because they think that they can feed these seam passes and not play the right way. It's just so frustrating as a fantasy owner having Mitch Marner being a
fantasy
-5
team
every
league
game.
owner.
No, but seriously, I think they figure out those little things. I love Keefe. Keefe should be the last guy being roasted right now. That guy's done
Did you hear about the Trotz rumor?
Yeah, and I was gonna get to that. I love Keefe, but to get this team playing as like a defensive group and really drilling that into their heads, that's what you need, man. They have the offense, they just don't have the defense. And if you bring a guy in to like make that switch, it's so big. I'm not saying Sheldon Keefe hasn't been great. He's been so great, but you can kind of tell almost the players like shutting him out now.
Yeah. If there comes a time when you don't win, you're not seeing as much success, especially in the playoffs, Leafs, you just start. The coach is the same thing every year. You just start tuning them out.
Yeah, and
it just happens.
It's natural.
It doesn't even mean they're not a good coach by any means. Just eventually you get to that point.
You need a new voice. It's like
you're
just hearing the same voice on repeat, and it doesn't hit you as hard. You know, it's like 4 months into like a class in university. You're listening to the same prof.
At
the beginning, you're just like, yeah, let's learn.
You're engaged.
Yeah,
by the end, you're like,
fuck,
I'm over you.
I could probably take this online and just not be here.
Okay, with that being said, I have them A tier.
Mm-hmm.
I might have them at the bottom though. I don't know if I put them over Carolina.
I think they're just such a question mark and haven't proved shit that they need to be there.
They could be at the top, maybe not over.
Dude, I even put them at the top of B tier.
I'm putting them in A.
Okay.
I mean, I do feel B tier. You know what?
Top of B tier.
The thing is,
what have they proved?
True.
I love this team, but what have they proved?
No, you're not wrong. Vancouver Canucks. Man.
What?
I don't have anything to say besides like I don't even want to talk.
I saw your video the other day about talking.
I already made a whole video on this. I just think D tier.
D?
Yeah. In my argument for the my argument for D tier,
I'd be E, generous.
Whoa, really,
bro?
They have
what? What
are you gonna say?
What are they doing as an organization? Management's pointing to coach pointing to management, players pointing to management, fans pointing to players. It's like, holy fuck! It's just a big ball of toxic energy in that franchise. Right
Agreed.
now.
That's why I was saying Horvat could be gone.
Like I agree with that. But like at this point, like even like Phoenix or Arizona's situation, it's like it's almost like happier. You know,
it is. They got mults in the arena.
Yeah, right.
Having fun, ripping beers. Okay, no, my argument. Obviously, I'm a bit of a Canucks homer. Not denying that, but having watched every single game, the first 3 games they had 2-0 leads on some of the top teams in the league. Now they did collapse. They beat Pittsburgh 5-1. They just beat Anaheim 8-5. Great defense there. It was a defensive battle.
Fun game.
I don't know. The thing is, when you look at their team on paper, they have Thatcher Demko, who's been playing like trash. He's going to bounce back. He's always been super consistent throughout his career.
Yes.
And you have Elias Pettersson, who's actually been playing lights out. He just got 5 points the other night, like 15 points in 11 games. They have some really good pieces. They're just not coming together. The thing is, like, if they're clicking, they're a bubble, if not playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw a glimpse of that last year, right?
Exactly.
They were making a push for playoffs, like in the last 15 games, winning like 10 out of those 15.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's why I'm saying
they can flip it around for sure. But
that's what I'm saying. There's no way that they're behind the Detroit Red Wings.
But man, they're looking at Bedard, being like, "Damn, this kid can put the puck in the net."
And he's a local boy.
Local man. I mean, ever since that video came out of Bedard saying who he thinks should draft him,
there's hope.
It's got to be Vancouver, man. I would tank for that kid.
Me too. And he's a hometown boy. He's a Vancouver Canucks fan.
So we'll give them a soft D.
I'm putting him
soft D.
I'm putting him right there.
Oh, Rob, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I get one. We each get one auto pick.
Okay.
I don't know what yours is. Maybe you want to go back and look. Okay, but
I'm happy with this list. Other than that one,
man, I think one of the things I said in that video, I was like, what other team in the NHL has had to do a rebuild after a 10-year rebuild.
Yeah, halfway through a 10-year rebuild. Yeah,
are you kidding me? You're not supposed to rebuild a rebuild.
I know. Yeah, fire Linden because they're like, nope. Sorry,
Holy
this ain't
shit,
how we do
man.
it. We're doing another rebuild.
Another one.
Another rebuild.
Oh, Vegas Golden Knights. They've been popping this year.
They've been popping.
Jack Eichel's playing good. Logan Thompson.
Logan Thompson.
Lights out. That kid's so good.
Calgary boy. He played for the Buffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
Wow.
they've been awesome. I mean, you had Phil the Thrill to your lineup, and you're winning a cup.
Automatic morale booster.
I mean, this guy's played almost 1,000 straight games.
Definitely.
It doesn't make any sense looking at him, but God, I respect the hell out of him.
Could you imagine if Phil the Thrill didn't just drink Pepsi all day and hot dogs and like legitimately dedicated his life to training?
He might be Jesus Christ.
He would literally be on Connor McDavid's level.
Yes.
Which is crazy to think about because he's already that good. Like,
yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, we saw it when he was younger too, and like, God, I can imagine what his dad was like back then. I mean, I don't think it's changed much. It's probably gotten a little bit better just because he's getting older, but like, dude, this guy could have been like Bedard, McDavid, Crosby, Ovechkin in one.
Like his skating
like a
was
five-headed monster.
Amazing back in the day.
Oh,
it's still holding up, but like, it was insane.
His one-legged wrister, I remember trying it in bantam, and my coach being like, "Riley, you weigh 110 pounds. Don't do that yet. Wait, use two legs and lean on your stick."
Got time, young Padawan.
But I want to look like a Gimla.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I wanted to. Anyways,
do you know who I wanted to play like? Was that your role model?
When I was in like Adam.
Okay, when we played in bantam, I guess in that area, what was your?
My role model was McKinnon and Sagan. That's
okay.
who I like.
I can see it. You had the McKinnon skating.
Thank you.
Do you know who my role model was? Ryan Kessler.
Oh, you little weasel.
Yeah, Ryan Kessler.
That's a good one, actually.
I wanted to be a two-way forward.
Tom would have loved that too.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom.
But anyways, for Vegas, I would put them in B tier somewhere.
Yeah, I think with the goaltending, I don't know. Robin Lehner's supposed to come back halfway through the season, right? I still don't see him being as like a bona fide number one. I think him and Logan Thompson are good 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
But I think Vegas deserves to be ahead of Calgary.
Agreed. I would put them top of B.
Below Toronto?
Yeah, I would actually put them behind Toronto.
Okay.
I don't know. This team hasn't proven enough. They've like looked good on paper for a while. Like Eichel was a huge ad.
Yeah.
Once they start proving more, they could easily be a top of B.
Yeah.
But
once
for
they
now,
start showing some loyalty to like their fucking team.
Yeah. Once they don't trade their best, they traded Fleury. Now, obviously, in hindsight, wasn't a bad decision.
Off of Vezina year.
He just won the Vezina.
A Vezina year.
And they traded him for future considerations. Whatever. Washington Capitals. Now, I don't know. I'm never that excited about this team for some reason. Obviously, I love Ovechkin. They now got Manta, Kuznetsov. Like, they have a solid team, and they're kind of like a dark horse team. But I don't know.
I think they're always just like, especially now, I compare them a lot to the Pens.
Yeah.
You know, like pretty mid.
I say a step below.
Yeah, I would say a step below too. I think pretty mid, but one last few kick of the cans here. Like,
yeah,
it's this year, next year, and then I think it's rebuild time.
Man, I hope Ovi beats Gretzky's record though. That would be
what he needs, like best. 104 more or something like that. It's close.
It's on a 40-goal pace. Anyways, I'd probably put them at the bottom of B.
Yeah,
you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Winnipeg Jets, the last team on this tier list. Again, this is another team I don't know how to feel about. They do have like one of the best goalies in the league in Connor Hellebuyck. They do have some really good forwards. Dubois, Scheifele, Wheeler, Ehlers. Like, they have a very solid forward core.
Mm-hmm.
Backhand's a bit iffy, but it helps that they have Hellebuyck.
Yeah.
I don't know where I see this team, though, because they've been really inconsistent.
Yeah.
I guess you go for your take.
More drama in Canada, I think. I think with Bonus coming in and stripping the C off Wheeler, it just kind of made things weird.
Yeah.
And like they got off obviously to a slow start. Kyle Connor, I think, has only scored 1 goal so far in 13 games, and that guy scored almost 50 last year.
Picked him up.
So
Pissed.
you picked him up?
Yeah. It was
Like
a pretty
this
high
week?
draft. No, I think I drafted him pretty high.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've been
pissed.
picking him up and dropping him and then picking him up. I picked him up hoping he's going to get hot again because he's averaging like 8 shots a game, which is you have to score.
He's going to come back.
Yeah,
like,
you have to score one of those.
He's been a consistent goal scorer his entire career.
So far, it's Josh Morrissey leading their team with 8 points on D. So that's kind of
Man.
like tells you how it's going in Winnipeg. Obviously, Connor Hellebuck's going to be that goalie for you all the
Yeah.
time, but these guys are going to playoffs.
I would put him I would put him around LA and like Minnesota.
I would put him between LA and Buffalo. Because
Okay.
I think Buffalo could surprise. You know what? I'd put Buffalo ahead of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
But you know what I will say about
There's
that?
just so much disarray.
They only
in Winnipeg.
they only can go up at this point, and Buffalo can kind of only go down. But we'll leave them there.
Yeah.
Ever since
And have you ever been to Winnipeg?
Yeah, of course. My dad's from Winnipeg.
Oh my God,
Well,
it's
grew
not,
up in
it's not a
Winnipeg.
fun town,
It's all right.
especially in winter.
Yeah, it's rough.
So
Winterpeg.
that's got to be a tough place to play.
But anyways, here is our tier list. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Should Buffalo be higher?
Should Should Montreal be an F tier?
Should Ryan Suter have a PSA out for his whereabouts?
Where is this guy?
Where is he?
Russia?
Yeah, you tell us. You be the judge.
Anyways, though, guys, thanks for watching. This is the second episode of RTH Pod in 6 months. Pretty good. That's one every 6 months. That's not a bad pace.
We'll have a lot more on the way, though, for you guys.
Yeah, we're going to be back
For real.
regularly. But thanks for watching.